Greetings, deep divers. You know those stories that they just grab you? The kind that refuse to let go? Tales of incredible resilience, yeah. Pushing through the absolute worst to find, well, to find some kind of purpose. Today, we are taking a deep dive into exactly one of those stories. We're going to unpack the extraordinary journey of a figure known as Freakzilla, the iron-bound monstrosity. It's a powerful narrative, lots of loss, transformation, but ultimately hope.
It really is. And our mission for this deep dive, yours and mine, is to really extract the core insights from his, frankly, harrowing past. We want to understand what forged this incredible force of nature. We've got two main sources guiding us. Freakzilla, ironbound liberator of hope, and also the, very evocative ironbound, the Buried Giants Ballad. And these texts, they paint such a vivid picture. I mean, a man who literally clawed his way back from being buried alive. It's more than biography. It's about resilience itself.
Absolutely. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by circumstance, maybe wondered where true strength really comes from, this deep dive is for you. We're going to pull back the layers on this complex character, find out what lessons his story holds. Okay, let's unpack this. So our story begins with a name you might not associate with Freakzilla immediately, Jono Reyes. Before the monstrosity, the legend, he was Jono. And the sources say this name was reclaimed through pain and perseverance, but before that reclamation, just darkness, crushing darkness.
And what's truly fascinating and horrifying, really, is the sheer duration of it all. The sources tell us Jono lay buried for 10 long years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years in the pitch-black tunnels of the mines. Can you imagine that? A decade in absolute darkness, the earth just pressing down. The iron-bound ballad describes this with chilling accuracy. It says, "The mine did take, the earth did keep, 10 winters long in iron sleep." It wasn't just being trapped physically, he was being completely cut off from everything that made him human.
Right. You can almost feel that suffocating chill, can't you? The texts, they paint such a visceral picture. His skin took on, and this is a quote, "the pallor of the stone walls around him," and his cries, just drowned in shifting stone, every breath, just a brutal reminder of his isolation, his humanity, slipping like grains of sand through broken fingers. It's just...
Wow. Yeah, it's not just physical decay they're describing there, is it? It's psychological erosion.
Exactly.
And this whole period, it wasn't just about survival, it was about being utterly consumed. The sources really convey that his name, his past, his whole identity, forgotten. Outside those tunnels, anyway. Just his flesh, his consciousness, alone in the dark. The ballad even emphasizes how the darkness truly chewed his voice to thread. It's a stark image.
Wow.
And the veins of gold above him bled. It's a powerful metaphor, right? The earth gives treasure, but it also swallowed him. How do you even begin to conceptualize surviving that, let alone remembering who you are?
It's almost impossible to grasp. And then, after those 10 agonizing years, rescue, they found him. But what they pulled out wasn't whole, not even close. A man described as shattered, his spinal cord snapped in 2 places, and his mind, understandably, fraying at the edges. And there's no real promise of, normal healing, just this vague, kind of ominous mention of a shadowy clinic promising miracles.
And this is where the story takes a turn, doesn't it? From natural tragedy to something, well, more unsettling. It sort of veers into this human intervention that really blurs the line between saving someone and subjugating them. In those cold operating theaters, they didn't just mend him, they rebuilt him, fundamentally. They fused metal into his broken spine and wired circuits into his neural pathway.
Metal in his spine, circuits.
Yeah, and the ballad captures this chillingly. With silver spine and copper nerve, they built a man no god would serve. It just raises really uncomfortable questions, about life when it's so re-engineered.
So they called it salvation. They brought him back from the brink. But the sources, they're very clear. In truth, it was another prison. He was locked in a bed of steel and wires. His limbs moved, because of the tech, but it wasn't his will making the move. It's such a disturbing image, isn't it?
It really is.
Freed from the earth, only to be caged by the very technology meant to save him. A prisoner inside his own revitalized body. They say he had steel in his marrow and a furnace burning behind his face. It's a paradox. Is that body really free if it doesn't serve him?
That image, it really hits home. That tension between human will and this biomechanical control. The sources don't shy away from it. But despite being encased in all that steel and wire, Jono's heart still beat with quiet defiance. Deep down, right. He longed for the warmth of sunrise, something he thought he might never feel again. The ballad talks about his dreams during this time of light, of flame, of rising tall and shouting name, that spirit that deep-seated yearning for agency, for his true self, it's absolutely crucial. It implies that even when everything else is stripped away, that core human desire for freedom, for identity, it can persist. It has to.
And here's where it gets really interesting. One stormy night, and who knows, was it a tremor, a power surge, or maybe just something deep inside him finally breaking free? He rose. Imagine that scene, the energy of it. With gritted teeth and a roar of anguish, he tore away restraints, shattered doors. He just exploded out of there, left the facility behind in a storm of metal fragments and broken promises.
Yeah.
This wasn't just like slipping out the back door. This was an eruption.
Yeah, an eruption is a good word. The ballad speaks of it with real poetic force. Stormlight cracked a hospital wall and thunder dared him. Stand or fall. It wasn't just running away. It was an awakening, a reassertion of self. He didn't just walk out. He shattered glass and limped through the rain, a titan born from wire and pain.
A titan born from wire and pain.
Exactly. He shed one prison, physically sure, but also metaphorically, spiritually. It really speaks to the idea that true freedom isn't just breaking chains, right? It's about reclaiming your story, your agency, from whatever tried to bury you. That act was the first step in him consciously remaking himself.
So after that, tumultuous escape, he doesn't find peace and quiet. No. He stumbles into this completely new, unexpected world. The circus's twisted glow, a world of wonder and wonder's dark reflection. And there, amongst all the performers and the spectacle, he meets someone pivotal. Madame Marrow. What a turn, right? Finding a new path in that kind of place.
It's fascinating. And what stands out about Madame Marrow is her vision, where others might have just seen a sideshow monster, maybe pitied him. She saw something else. She saw a wounded man yearning for purpose. It wasn't about exploitation for her, it seems. It was about understanding, guidance. With gentle patience, she showed him how to channel that raw strength, that inner fire from his escape, into something, productive, heartful. Even.
Helpful, yeah.
The sources emphasize she taught him the ring and healed his mind, recognizing his wounds weren't just physical. She saw potential where others maybe just saw trauma.
So his fighting, his performance in the ring, it wasn't just brute force or showing off power. It became a language, a profound one. Each lift, each slam, it was like a note in a song of survival. He wasn't just fighting. He was learning to reclaim his narrative, to speak through his actions, to strike with heart, as the sources put it.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. Under the spotlight, Freakzilla learned to fight not for screams of shock, but for the thunder of applause. Every single match became a testament to his incredible journey, a public declaration of his triumph over everything he'd been through. It proved, as the ballad says beautifully, that a shattered man with wrath and need could truly find his place. That shift from being an object of pity or fear to someone admired, someone inspiring, that's a critical part of his evolution. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was thriving on his own terms.
His wrestling moves. Their names aren't just random or catchy. They're incredibly evocative. They tie directly back to his past, turning those traumas into powerful symbols.
Right.
You've got the spinal crush, right? A neck breaker described as heartbreakingly beautiful, a reminder of fragility overcome.
Right.
Then there's the tunnel bore, a thunderous charge that clearly echoes the collapse he once endured and the force with which he rose again. You can just picture it. And finally, the iron reclamation. A power bomb that, quote, lays waste to doubt, proclaiming ownership of one's destiny. These aren't just techniques, they're like declarations, manifestos.
It makes you think, doesn't it? What does this all mean for us watching or reading about it? These aren't just wrestling moves, they are symbolic acts, defiance, triumph. Each one is like a chapter in his ongoing story. He fights, but not just for himself, it's for something deeper, more universal. He's turning his personal agony into this public statement of strength. It's a profound way to process trauma, isn't it? By externalizing it, giving it form, and turning it into inspiration for others. He's basically performing his healing journey, inviting everyone else to witness it.
And this is where Freakzilla, the character, truly transcends, I think. Behind all that steel-reinforced armor and towering frame beats a heart scarred but unbroken. He isn't just a monster,
right,
or even just a performer. He's a beacon, a living symbol of what's possible when you refuse, absolutely refuse, to stay buried.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Freakzilla isn't just fighting opponents in a ring. The sources make it crystal clear. He fights for every soul who's ever been buried by circumstance, every child hidden in shadows, every worker silenced in dank shafts, every spirit told it had no tomorrow. That's powerful stuff.
It really is.
Each match, each devastating move is described as a hymn to those entombed, each bell a toll for dreams exhumed. His personal struggle becomes this universal story of reclaiming what was lost, finding a voice for the voiceless.
You can almost feel the weight of that responsibility he carries. He steps into the ring with tears in his eyes and fire in his soul. He's not a conqueror of flesh and bone, not driven by revenge or just winning. He is, as the sources define him, a liberator of hope.
A liberator of hope, yeah.
He's a monster, okay, by conventional standards maybe, but the text says, make it no doubt he fights to drag the buried out. His strength isn't for destruction, it's for lifting people up.
And the ultimate message woven through both sources, especially when that final bell rings and the lights fade, it's just powerfully clear. No darkness is so deep that the human spirit cannot claw its way back into the light. As the ballad concludes, leaving us with that really indelible image of perseverance, it urges us, remember this, though crushed and still, the buried giant rises still. It's just, it's a testament to raw, unyielding will, even against unimaginable odds.
Wow. What an incredible, profound journey we've taken for Freakzilla. From that crushing darkness of the mines to the roar of the arena. It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it? How adversity can not only be survived, but how it can forge this unbreakable spirit. How even the deepest scars can become sources of strength. Inspiration, even.
It really makes you think. It raises this important question for all of us listening right now. What does it truly mean to reclaim your own identity? Your true name, maybe, after being defined by hardship, by circumstance, and maybe even more importantly, how do we find that inner fire, that spirit of defiance, to rise up even when the world seems absolutely determined to bury us?
Yeah. A lot to think about there, isn't it? We really hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the heart of Freakzilla's truly inspiring story. Join us next time as we continue to unpack the fascinating stories and hidden insights that lie just beneath the surface of the world around us.